Elena shoved her gold trophy into the bottom drawer and slammed it shut the moment her colleague sighed. She pulled the sleeves of her oversized sweater over her knuckles, trying to make herself look smaller than her own desk. Reaching for the monitor, she clicked the brightness down until the screen was almost black, mirroring the light she was snuffing out inside. "I'm sorry," she whispered to the quiet room, apologizing for a brilliance she had worked years to achieve. At every dinner party in the city, Elena practiced a strange skill. When someone spoke about a project she had already mastered, she would tilt her head and say, "Oh, I didn't know that." She even forced herself to stutter, pretending to be unsure so the person next to her could feel like the smartest in the room. She thought she was being kind. She thought that by making herself a shadow, she was helping others feel the light. But a shadow doesn't just sit there. It grows. Soon, she wasn't just hiding her awards. She was hiding her voice, her ideas, and eventually, her smile. Her friends began to expect her to be the quiet one, the one who always agreed, the one who never outshone them. Every time she dimmed her light, they asked for a little more darkness. The burnout didn't come from working too hard. It came from pretending to be too little. It felt like trying to fit an ocean into a glass of water. Her soul was tired of being small. One night, sitting alone in her apartment with the city lights buzzing outside, she felt like her own shadow was larger than her body. She couldn't breathe in the tiny space she had built for herself. She picked up the phone and called the only person who knew the true weight of light: her grandfather. He lived on the rugged coast of Maine, where the wind never stops blowing and the lighthouse stands tall against the gray sky. He had spent 40 years tending to that light, making sure it never flickered, no matter how dark the storm became. She told him everything. She told him about the trophies in the drawers and the stuttering at parties. She told him she was tired of shrinking. After a long silence, only the sound of the Atlantic waves crackling through the phone, the old man spoke. His voice was like warm tea on a cold morning. "Elena," he said softly, "you are trying to be the dark sky so others can be the stars. But a lighthouse that dims its beam doesn't help the ships. It kills them." Elena stood on the porch, watching the massive beam of the lighthouse sweep across the dark Atlantic. Her grandfather walked out, his boots heavy on the wooden planks. He didn't ask her why she was crying. He simply handed her a heavy industrial flashlight. "Elena," he said, his voice steady as the tide, "I need you to do something for me. Go down to the shore, shine this light as far as it can go, and apologize." Elena wiped her eyes, confused. "Apologize to who?" "To the ocean," he replied. "Tell the sea you are sorry the lighthouse is so bright. Tell the waves you are sorry for cutting through the darkness. Tell the fish you are sorry for disturbing their sleep." Elena looked at the giant stone tower behind them, then back at her grandfather. She let out a small, tired laugh. "Grandpa, that's ridiculous. The ocean doesn't need an apology. It's a lighthouse. It's supposed to be bright. If it were dim, it wouldn't be doing its job." The old man nodded slowly, a small smile appearing in the corners of his eyes. "Exactly," he whispered. "So why have you spent the last 3 years apologizing to the world for your own light? Why are you trying to be a candle when you were built to be a beacon?" Elena went quiet. The wind felt colder, but her heart felt a strange, new warmth. "You think you are being kind by making yourself small," the grandfather continued, looking out at the distant lights of a container ship. "You think if you don't shine so bright, others won't feel insecure. But listen to me, Elena. A ship doesn't need a comfortable light. It needs a true light. If a lighthouse dims itself to make the ships feel better about their own darkness, those ships will end up shattered on the rocks. Your talent, your success, your joy, that is the light that helps others find their way. When you hide it, you aren't being humble, you are being dangerous. Elena looked down at the flashlight in her hands. She realized that by trying to fit in, she had stopped being a guide. She had been apologizing for the very thing that made her valuable. "Don't worry about the fish," her grandfather said, patting her shoulder. "They like the light, and the ones that don't, they have the whole rest of the ocean to swim in. But the ships, they need you to stay bright." Elena returned to San Francisco the very next day. She didn't sneak into her office. Instead, she walked to her desk, took the gold trophy out of the bottom drawer, and placed it right in the center for everyone to see. She didn't look around to see who was sighing. She simply reached for her monitor and slid the brightness bar all the way to the right. The screen glowed, illuminating her face with a light she no longer tried to hide. In the next meeting, she didn't stutter. She didn't pretend to be unsure. She presented her most daring, ambitious idea yet, speaking with a voice that was clear and steady. Some of her colleagues looked away, uncomfortable with her sudden confidence. A few even stopped sitting with her at lunch. But something else happened. New people leaned in. They asked questions. They looked at her like she was a map in the dark. By refusing to shrink, Elena finally found the people who were actually looking for her light. From today's story, we learn a vital lesson. The world does not need you to be small. It does not need you to fit in or to hide your gifts so that others feel better about their own insecurities. The world is already full of people trying to be ordinary. What it truly lacks are people who have the courage to be exactly who they were meant to be. When you dim your light, you aren't helping anyone. You are only leaving the world a little darker. Never apologize for your success. Never apologize for your brilliance. Your light is not a threat. It is a gift to those who are lost. Stay bright, and remember, you were born to be a beacon, not a shadow. If you are ready to stop shrinking and start shining from today, leave a red heart in the comments. I will see you in the next life lesson. Stay calm and stay true.